Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, we'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 7 of the anime series Dance with Devils. And things are pretty much aligning exactly how I myself and a few of you guys that I've talked back and forth in the comments with have been speculating everything from Lowen, in fact, being this, transforming dog, this changeling dog. He describes himself as being essentially Cerberus, the right-hand man of a Lord Moxus. And I think this is probably a different entity than the one that's basically at the start of this episode reprimanding Rem for not having in his possession the grimoire as of yet. To, of course, Ritsuka herself being the manifestation of the grimoire, her, containing that power within her, everything about her, it's pretty much all explained. The idea of her birthday, I was speculating her birthday was going to come heavily into play. Sure enough, she is warned that on her 17th birthday, this power will alight, it will awaken, and it was this power, sort of like a year previously, there was just the briefest hint, the escape of the aroma that this power, emanates from her, whatever it is, that all of these particular devils got a whiff of, and that's why they started going after this family. The grandfather died, as we know, as a result of this attack, and so that's why they are so after Ritsuka. But it's arguable whether the devils actually happen to know anything. It's like this is kind of the turning point where it seems they figure it out. They piece it together. At least Lowen does. And of course, Rem is there to hear this. And we see him really having, once again, those reservations. I mean, they're very much at the forefront in this episode. That Rem, he feels for Ritsuka. I think he's in love with Ritsuka, and he doesn't want to see her coming to an end. I don't know if he was, starting to speculate himself that she could be the grimoire incarnate kind of thing, or it would be released from her, and that her life, much as I speculated once again, hitting all the nails in the coffin, her life would be at risk should this power erupt from her or be freed from her. And so it's kind of, a double-edged sword that Lowen is trying to effectively manipulate her with this idea, this promise. Well, if I take the power out of you, we won't have to go after your family anymore. Your mother will be fine, this and the other thing. Kind of true, but at the same time, it's going to risk, Ritsuka's own life. And of course, we see the other three, Yuri, Meiji, and Shiki going after Asuna because she splits off from Asuna. There's, I guess, a festival coming up. I don't know if this is, as we saw in the PV for the next episode, there's like a ball going on or a banquet, something very posh looking. It looks like Rem's trying to get in close to Ritsuka. Maybe there'll be a confession of love between them there. But it seems like Asuna and the brother Lindo is there as well. And Lindo, holy crap, in this episode, calling back on this mother trucker being a vamp of, just renowned ability, but he goes schizo. When he finally figures out, he catches up with Asuna, manages to chase Yuri, Meiji, and Shiki away. Lo and behold, of course, Ritsuka has been spirited away by Lowen, and he uses his, I guess his abilities, his powers. I don't know if it's his vampire abilities, because I think that's pretty much, what he confirms himself to be with the red eyes and the teeth, the fangs, as he goes on the attack in the aftermath. But I mean, I don't know whether it's that or exorcist abilities that allows him to pinpoint where the hell Ritsuka even is. He does this time and again. And boom, he shows up right there, and of course he automatically assumes Rem is the one behind all of it. He doesn't know anything about Lowen or Cerberus, whatever the hell you want to call him, and he goes on the attack, and his, nails are digging into Rem's hands, so that black blood is pouring out. This after, of course, Rem has already been manhandled, in a sense, by, this entity that as I say, is part of his family lineage. I don't know if it's a great-grandfather, if it's considered his dad, whatever it is, but this entity had already manhandled him, so he's already at a weakened point. So he's not necessarily going to be full-on, full-mast going up against Lindo in this attack. But Lindo's so crazed, he's even like, pushing Ritsuka out of the way, scratching her cheek and all this kind of stuff. And it's only when Rem challenges him, are you going to hurt her too? You're going to, cut her up too? Attack her? Because that's exactly what he's doing. He has no control in that moment. Only those words are what snaps him out of it. And what you have by the end of this episode, much as was the case at the end of the previous episode, who can you trust? You know, to quote Joker from the 1989 Tim Burton Batman, hubba, 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 who can you trust? You know, Ritsuka does not know. Everyone has been lying, from her best friend Azuna to her so-called brother, her half-brother at best, cousin, as, you know, we pretty much figured out last episode with the aunt getting with the vampire and everything on Grandpa's land and whatever. So, I mean, it's all crazy, hectic. It's like one of those best, it's like Dark Shadows. You know, from the very beginning, I equated this series to be kind of like a gothic horror stage play, adding those musical elements, but it was kind of also like a gothic horror soap opera. And that's very much what Dark Shadows was, the classic series. There was a remake series or a follow-up, I don't know exactly what it was. One of my mother's all-time favorite things growing up was Dark Shadows, so I'm vaguely familiar with it, and all those tropes from the vampires to the devils, the demons, all this kind of stuff, you know, the occult-ish aspect of a grimoire and this girl possessing those powers. It's all very sort of, you know, boisterous to me. It attracts me to the nth degree, and I love how everything was pitched. I mean, everything in the last episode was a turning point. This episode is very much answering all of those remaining speculations, and now that we have it all revealed, what is the next step going to be for Ritsuka? Will she sacrifice herself? Will Rem be her saving grace? Will they come together? You know, will he rebel against this demon force, this devil force that's part of his lineage, that wants him to grab this grimoire with all his might? Will he, you know, hold off from doing that? Will he let his heart be the thing that puts a stop to this? If all these devils are going to actually war amongst themselves for Ritsuka, I mean, they've all been after her. They haven't even known that's what they've been after. But they've been after her anyway just because of her charms and, you know, being romanced by her. So, I mean, anything goes, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. Love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you've seen episode 7 of Dance with Devils, if you enjoyed it as much as I did, if you were elated at all of those speculations coming true, if you had any of them in mind, if you're one of the folks that has been kind enough to be commenting back and forth with me on every episode, you know, are you just excited that things are aligning to how you thought it would be? Or are you, you know, in the off chance, maybe a little down on the fact that things were a little predictable, but at least for me, no less exciting. I don't even care if there was a predictable element to it, because it's just been damn exciting for me. So otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.